Hi guys, it's Jessica. I am here for some Dolly updates and my exciting new sewing machine that I got this last weekend. It's my early Christmas present from my husband. Um, and I've been sewing like a fiend all weekend, exhausting myself. But this machine is amazing. I'm so happy with it. It is a, come on, focus. It's a FAF, and it's called an Ambition 1.0. So there were ones that were, I guess, higher end, but this one, I didn't need a huge machine. I'm not sewing giant quilts or wedding dresses or something like that. I'm sewing doll clothes, so I didn't need a really big arm or machine, but it's plenty powerful. I was super impressed with it in the display room. They let me work it myself, and I was able to sew through a doubled up piece of full thickness leather. And just to try it a little further, I folded it a few more times. It was super thick, and the thing still sewed through it. So I am super duper happy with this machine, and I have just been going crazy sewing. So some things that I really like about it is the wonderful lighting. There's like 2 or 3 lights in this work area, and even like during day it's nice. I've got this window and I can get natural light, but it's just very difficult at night with no not adequate lighting. So this has really improved that a lot. It it does do a lot of different stitches, and I practice some of those on some practice stuff, but that'll be nice to be able to add some decorative aspects to maybe some trim on dresses and cuffs and that sort of thing. But it's got, I can change the size and the width. There's lots of different options. It does do some embroidery, some letters. The other thing that I really like is this automatic. It's got this sliding to do so you can change it from slow to fast, which is nice because with a foot pedal I have a hard time with that, keeping a nice even keel. And it has basically has like a push start. So you push this button and it can go. And if you're doing a really long straight line and you don't want to be pushing on the pedal the whole time, this is really handy. And a button to reverse it, so you just push the button. My old machine, I had to hold down a lever with my hand over here while pushing on the foot, and so then you didn't have a hand to move your fabric whenever you wanted to go into reverse. So it's just little things like that that are so helpful. It's empty right now, but the bobbin goes in here. It's self-loading, so you put it in and you string it. But then it just brings it up itself and self-feeds it, which is, I find, just amazing. Like, wow, that's amazing. It does have I don't know how to use it. It does have this to thread the needle, and I haven't been able to get it to work. It seems like the hole in the needle is too small, but it came with all of these like little bobbins. I did get a few extra feet that came with it. Kinda a little bit sad, but I kind of suspected like my feet, my sewing feet from my previous machine that I had invested in some. They weren't terribly expensive or anything, but they don't fit. They don't fit on the machine, so that's kind of the downfall. But here, let me turn the camera around and I'll show you the projects I've been working on. Okay, so sewing progress. The first thing that I tackled with this machine, the other thing that it has is it has a built-in walking foot, and the top and bottom feed is very even. which makes sewing knit fabrics, stretchy fabrics, which are notoriously difficult to sew. So I'm going to show you an example of a t-shirt that I attempted to sew basically the night before I got this machine. So I was using my old machine that I've had since 2000, and so I will show you like the bunching up and the irregular lines. Just really difficult and horrible. So hard. It was so hard. And I, even with using tissue paper and a kind of this walking foot that I had that I tried to put on there, just terrible. So this is the t-shirt that I made for her after I got the machine, and it was just kind of like the first thing that I sewed, like as a test to kind of see. And the lines are very, very straight. It's a lot easier to keep us going with a straight line, even with the stretchy fabric. So super duper happy. So here I have Caribou Woman. This is my Mary Dull Round Olathe. And so I made her that t-shirt. I made her this vest. It is like a faux fleece. It's made from, so it's not real, but it really has the texture and look of real fleece. This I hand sewed. I didn't use the machine for this. I'd started it the night before, and I wanted it to have kind of this rustic look with like visible threads and kind of a pieced together look. So it's pretty rustic, and that's kind of what I was going for. You can see that it actually has like a pattern like printed in it or pressed into it, so it's a really neat material. And this was material that my friend Miss Mantis had given me too. She sent me a bunch of fabrics, and I guess she'd gotten it from her friend's mother. So who knows where it came from, or it's all there is. But it's kind of cool. I welcome any and all fabric scraps. I am a fabric scrap hoarder, big time. This was a little Dreamcatcher earring that she had sent me to for my birthday, and it's actually been sitting on Rosebud's horn for a long time, and I kind of plunked it in her hair yesterday, so it's not extremely culturally appropriate, but and that's kind of something that I wanted to, as far as her character goes, Caribou Woman. I think that she is, like, she's a current manifestation of this goddess or spirit being, and that's kind of a concept that I'm like developing, like that maybe this god or spirit transfers from mortal to mortal, and so it's kind of this little story idea that's kind of brewing, that I've been, as I work on her, kind of the inspiration comes in, which is always really nice. That's fun. But I think that she is a young Native woman, and in modern times, and so she's in modern times dealing with modern life and modern culture, and this juxtaposition of her tribal culture. And I don't know, I kind of see her as maybe someone, as an individual who is interested in modern times, and not that she shuns her heritage, but I like the idea that basically the Caribou Woman spirit has chosen her, and that maybe it wasn't necessarily something that she would have chose or thought that she was worthy of in any way, because she's not traditional. So I kind of like that idea. I like that that sort of theme, I guess, is what I should say. Not very good at talking today, I don't think. But yeah, I've been sewing like a freaking nut. Staying up too late, not sleeping, and not eating, and which is bad. I gotta not do those things because those are big time migraine triggers. But that's if I have a few days where I'm feeling good, which I have been, then drive myself into the ground because I gotta take advantage of that. So I've been here many, many times, and I do the same thing over and over again, and it's like, oh, it's so worth it. I had such fun. uh, but and then so do I still have some time? My camera is being a pain, but I got these bracelets. I forget what her name is. It's Tammy Lee or Tamaya Lee. I love her stuff. And I got these bracelets. They were for mini fee, but I think for mini fee girls, and I tried to put them on my mini fee boys, and they just don't quite fit right. But I discovered, because this is 2 bracelets actually, and they're meant to be triple wrapped, and so they're kind of big. If I triple wrap them on my boys, and they are on the muscular body, then it's too big. But I double wrap them on her, and it fits perfect, and I just really like it because it's kind of like this little modern thing. So that she has. I don't know. I'm enjoying this doll so much. I'm enjoying the way her story is coming in my mind and just working on her. I put her back in her her moccasins, her Minnetonkan. And that's because of the color. I like the color so much. But now that I know that my sewing machine can sew through leather, I have so many things that I want to sew. It's like, I can't do it all, not immediately anyways, but there's so many things that's opened the door. Basically, I want to sew leather, I want to sew leather, so I want to try to make some shoes, try my hand at that. I do need to, I keep saying this, I think I say this every video, I need to find thinner leather, and they just don't seem to have it really, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I really need to go. There's some saddle shops around and things like that. I just need to go, and they might even be able to shave some leather down, because if you have it's like a skeever is what they call it, or something like that, where you can shave it down to a thinner width. And years ago when I used to do some leather tooling, I always think back to those things that I used to have that are been gone for 20 years, and I still like think about them and look for them. Like it's time, you guys. What the hell? There's things from the past that seem so immediate, things that are happening right now that seem so distant, and what can you do? But anyways, really loving her. Maybe you can see Lily in the background there. She stole Edward's pants. So now I need to make Edward some of my pants because he's sitting over there naked now, looking really sad. But I love her in this corset with these pants. They actually fit her really good. So, and that's kind of exciting to me because that's a pattern that I developed for my mini fee boys. And so I have that pattern, and I can make some more pants that will fit my Lily cats. So I'm pretty excited about that. I did want to show my mini fee boys and things that I have been sewing for them. So exciting, socks. This is something that I have not been able to sew is socks, because my old machine could not handle, it just could not handle knits. I mean, it was such a chore to try to sew knits that I never attempted. I mean, I tried to sew a few times to sew knit socks, and it just didn't work. So I think he looks really. That was the original intention with these pants. They're knickers or breeches, and that they're supposed to have tights or knee-high socks that go over it. So, and these socks could actually have been a little longer. If I would have made them like up here, then they would have fit a little better. But I think he looks really super cute. This wig is too big for him, so he's got to wear a hat to keep it on. This is an R Rabbit shirt, and these were pants that I made previously. So the other major sewing project that I tackled was a dress shirt, and Seamus is wearing it. It was actually an American Girl pattern that I downloaded. I'm always looking for patterns to buy, like that I can download, because then they're digital already and I can mess with them on my computer. So it was for an American Girl, and I cut the pattern in half, and I did that. I just put it in Photoshop. I put it in one file, and I cut it by 50%, and then I print it out. So there's probably better ways or other ways to do it, but that's how I do it. So anyways, I cut the pattern in half, and I print it out and I piece it together to kind of see if it's going to fit. And I thought it would, but I think it's a little on the big side. The collar is a little bigger than I would like, so I think I'm going to reduce the pattern size by maybe 20%. And you can see how loose it is on the arms. So maybe like a 20% shrinkage would make it a little more snug. So the things that were new in this pattern that I've never done before, and I wanted to learn, and that's why I downloaded this pattern too, because part of it says that there's extensive pictures and diagrams and explanations. So it's because I've gotten some patterns where they just assume you know how to sew. Here's the pattern, do blah blah blah, and if you know sewing and stuff, you can probably do that. But I'm not there yet. So I wanted to learn how to do, some I don't know, fashion, or I don't know. I'm just terrible. I can't think of words. I wanted to learn some new techniques and to do some new components that I could add. There you go. Components that I could add to the things that I make. And that was a collar, and I don't know what the word is for this sort of collar, where it's basically has two pieces. It has a stand and then this wide part. And I wanted to learn how to do these, which are called plackets. So they are, I'll show you. There we go. So it's a lined part here for the split. So because the idea is that this should be snug. This should be snug around the wrist. And it's too big for him, but so then it looks nice. And I've been trying to do things and kind of just making it my own thing, and it was always like not looking nice. And so that was something I wanted to learn. And I didn't do it right. I did it right, but I did it reversed. So it should be the other way around. Like this part should be on top of this part. And also the sleeve should be switched. This sleeve should be on this sleeve. So it should be, I think it's supposed to be inward like this with the fold going over, so it looks clean. So didn't do that part right. But hopefully, I think it's a usable shirt. Like it's too big. The collar's a bit big. And this is the problem that I have with any, I like the R Rabbit shirts. I have several MSD R Rabbit shirts, that are just huge. For, my Lily Cats have small tops. They are small on top, big on the bottom, they've got that pear shape. And then these minifee guys are little shrimps. So it just needs to be smaller. But I really like, I don't know if I can see, like these seams they're super straight, like, and this was a pretty thick, it's like a folded piece of fabric, multiple layers there that it had to sew through. And the lines, so this was something that wasn't my machine's fault, but the instructions said to sew. They had me sew it. I followed the instructions because I just, I wanted to experience it how they're instructing it. And so there's things that I take away, like, well, I don't like that technique. I like the other technique that I learned from another pattern. So I know I'm rambling a lot, but welcome to my videos. But a lot of people are asking me where I get my patterns, and so Etsy, there are tons and tons of doll patterns on there, and what I would say is do not restrict yourself to BJD patterns. I find that a lot of those are a lot less, they're more bare bones. So I guess if you're really good at proficient at sewing and can, know how these things work and you don't need explanations really, then that's okay. But I would really, really recommend looking at American Girl patterns, or 18-inch patterns, sometimes they are said. So of course you're going to have to make big adjustments for your BJDs, and that's a process. But if you're trying to learn things, and how to sew a collar, or how to sew a placket, how to sew a zipper, those sorts of things. The best ones that I have seen are, there's a lot of seamstresses on there that make some really excellent instructional PDFs that go with their pattern. A lot of them have links to their websites where they go into things further. So really highly recommend it. So that's my advice for people who ask, where I'm getting my patterns and sewing and stuff. If you don't know what you're doing, like I am, then use those patterns. And if also the nice part about downloadable Etsy patterns is that you can manipulate them with software to change the size. And I'm pretty simple about that. I just put it all on one canvas, and shrink it by whatever percentage that I want, and I use Control R to have the ruler come out because I'm just using Adobe Photoshop CS2, because that's what I've used forever. And FYI, you can get that free off the Adobe website too. So it's old school at this point, but it gets the job done, and it's a really nice program. So I forgot where I was going with that, but yay, he has a shirt. And he has socks too. These I wanted to show. I thought when I got these shoes that I got for Lark, they are, see these brown shoes? They're Doll Zone shoes. And I've had these shoes for a long time. I bought them secondhand from somebody, I can't even remember who. And these fit the Minifee boys a whole lot better with the socks because they are just a bit on the large size. It's so hard to find things that fit Minifee boys and girls, but especially boys, because I don't know, maybe because I've spent so much time looking for the girls. But so what I was going to say is I had these, and they are nearly identical. And I don't know if they're Doll Zone or not. These inside, it says Doll Zone inside, and these have the exact same like light pale pink shimmery bottom that's in the foot of these. These have the exact same thing, so I don't know if that just wore off or if it's just a knockoff. That these could be knockoffs, but I really like, look at these guys. These guys are supposed to be cousins, and I think about their story a lot too. The thing that I am sad about is their size. I love these dolls. I love their posability. Like this, I had such a crush on this guy. I got him from Lunar BJD, Lonnie, and I just love this guy. But he's such a shorty. Lily Cat Kitty Jolie, who is, you know, these guys are kind of a couple. She is a bit of a shorty for my lily cats. I think she's 38 centimeters, 39. And the Minifee boys, I think, are 40 centimeters. So they're short. These are short MSDs. So I have, I wanted to pair him up with Lady, Trinity's sister, or she's now MSD, Alondria. But this long video, just the way it's gonna be. It's gonna be a long one. Sorry, guys. But what was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So I wanted to pair him up with Lady, and I like them together. I like how they look together, like their faces and just when they're sitting together and stuff. But I got her a soul doll body, a kid body, which is beautiful. Oh, I love the soul doll bodies, but it's really tall. I think it's 45 centimeters. So she's really tall. And I'm sorry, I'm just not one of those. I'm not one of those that can handle that. Like, I like the guys to be taller than the girls. I'm sorry. That's the way I am, okay? So I'm toying with the idea of getting a Minifee Moe body, because it would be significantly shorter. It'd be comparable to, I think are they 35 centimeters? I forget. But I need to look another, maybe a Bunny 9 style body. So, and if you have suggestions, this is like, I'm thinking out loud here. If you have suggestions for a girl body that's shorter than the Minifee boy, little shorty, and he's so freaking cute. But like when he has his shirt off and he's sitting next to this tall, he just looks, it looks funny. Like it looks like he's a young teenager trying to impress her, which I guess in a way, you know, he's young, you know, he probably is a teenager and she's a lot older, but because she's a fairy, and so she's old. Yeah, so love these guys, but I've been looking at other guys, and I've kind of made this, like, I shouldn't be buying any more dolls for a long time, but I want tan, you know, I want tan and brown, and I want the darker skin tones. It was kind of, you know, it was my intention a long time ago, back when I got Cernunos and his beautiful bronze skin. I just love it. I love that color so much. And then, well, I got really interested in the Delphs, and they're vintage, basically. They're vintage BJDs, and there's no tan. So I got my leashes. I got the elf and the normal, and I got my jury, my Chiwu, and then my Feeple 60 boy Karsh. So those guys were all like, they're all like normal skin and green. And I love them. But I want to get back on track with, I'm sorry, I'm just holding these guys and they're getting all messed up. They have to deal with it. I want to get back on track with my plans to have more tan dolls. I got these Lily Cats, which her color is super beautiful. It's like a peach. And I traded those for some Blythe dolls. And I've been calling her Lily, which is pretty much just like, because her Lilith is her sculpt name. So Fen BJD was asking, is that weird to name your doll? And I'm like, I've done it. I've done it a few times now, or slightly like it. And it may change. I don't have a huge character idea. She hangs out with Edward, who is my seed doll Peabody head. But, oh, let me get back on track. So I I'm going to do everything I can to get bronze skin, tan, all of those kinds of colors. And I'm going to try to make those choices. Sometimes a deal comes along and it's just like the thing, are you not going to stand now? You've been standing so well. And now that we're on camera, you aren't going to stand. He needs to be strung. He's really loose. I feel more confident that I could probably restring him. Mini fees, they just have all those parts. They have like the hip cup and stuff, and it intimidates me to think about restringing that. Do I have time? Yeah. So his stringing has always been a little bit more, a little better. I'm a little swanky, guys. Still messed up, isn't he? Anyways, I want to get the tan dolls, and got my my Mary doll around Olaf, which is a beautiful, the cookie dough they call it, cookie skin, and I got him in the tan, and love him, love the color. So looking at boys, so two boys that I'm looking at, and I would love to hear input on this as a model Delph. It's kid size, but they're pretty tall. They're like 30, or excuse me, 45 centimeters, I think, which is taller. Let's see, I was looking at him. Here he is. And this was a model Delph Abaddon. And so you can get, let's see if I can show him here. Move my camera. You can get him in the tan or brown skin. I think they actually have the option for real tan, and I think he's really pretty, and I like the aesthetics of the body. It's muscular and mature, and I think this is a relatively mature looking face sculpt, which helps. That's the one I'd like, probably like normal skin, but I really like, if you can see him at all. Let's see. It's really hard to see. But still, so I keep going back to the vetoes, and I think if I get any more, I was also looking at God, just went out of my brain. They sell the dolls on Junkie Spot. I love the female sculpts, and there's an SD male sculpt that I really love. Totally just went out of my brain. But he is not as tall as I would like. So the vetoes, the Soldal vetoes, are 52 centimeters. And Annandale, she got her veto. Her MSDs are shorter MSDs too. So, but I think especially with the lily cats, some of the lily cats are 42 centimeters, 43. I think that would be a good pair up. And I'm sorry, I'm a couple maker, but okay. So here's Soldal Lester, Soldal Vito Lester, and he is 52 centimeters, and you can get him in the brown skin. Stuff, that always, it adds a lot of expense, a lot more expense, or it's an expense. I think it's like $50 or $80 or something. So, which is, that's no little amount when you're already paying so much for the doll. But so this is something that's on the horizon, maybe, next year. I do want to get a tan doll chateau or doll zone. I've been looking at the female doll zone body for my seed doll wall head that should be, that I pre-ordered, so I'm sure that's going to be a ways out. It still has to be casted and that sort of thing. But yeah. So rambly. Oh, and I wanted to ask you guys, anybody who has a Soldal Vito, because they have the 2 joint system options, which is, I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things, like, I just, by looking at the dolls with the different joint system, I can't tell which would be better. So the body, they have the H double jointed body and the S double jointed body. H for hidden, S for shown. So you know, what's the difference there, and is one more posable than the other? Is one more obnoxious than the other? You know, if people have any experience with that, I'd love to hear it. Did I show? Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna try to wrap this up now. Here's Paris. I forgot that I had this dress, and I think it goes really, really good with her headband. So she's been sitting on my desk with me here, and I reorganized my dolls. My Blythe dolls had kind of got shoved behind my SD dolls, so now they are, let's see, can I show that? They are up there. Aren't they cute? So, all right. Okay, guys, I am going to get back to some sewing because I'm a nut right now. I'm gonna make some doll pants. I hope you guys are having a great day and your week's going good, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.